David Dusek is with Rough Cut Men, and David has been all over the world talking to military leaders, to soldiers, and training them about how to stick together. And he's coming tonight to share with us what he does and part of his program. So y'all welcome David Dusek.
I am a father of 5. I've got a 24, a 23, a 22, a 21, and an 18. I've done 2 colleges. I got 2 in grad school now. I got one who decided that if he was going to go to college, he wanted to do it in Sydney, Australia. So we put him on a plane on the 9th of January and sent him 14,000 miles away from home. And I've got a special needs boy. And I want to share something with you before I start, because this is really cool. I hope this gives... How many of y'all have kids? How many of y'all have adult kids? How many of you have an adult kid you don't talk to? I'm serious. It's a legitimate question. You look around, there are hands where we have kids that we don't talk to. I'll just be real straight with you. I didn't speak to my dad for about 20 years, and reconciled that in 2012. And I was just they live in Portland, Oregon. I was just with them last weekend. But Thanksgiving, I haven't spoken. My son lives 15 minutes away. He's 22 years old. He has a 2-year-old, and he's married. And I've seen my 2-year-old granddaughter a grand total of 3 times in 2 years, even though he's 15 minutes away. Every morning you get up as a dad, and it breaks your heart because I don't even know what it's like to be a grandfather, because I wasn't interacting with my grandchild at all. My son's mad. I'm one of the 42% of the guys that serve in the church world that's divorced and remarried. I left a big slug trail of devastation behind me as I went through life before I met the Lord. And in the process of that, crushed a marriage. And so I'm not as virile as you think I am. I didn't crank out 5 kids back to back like that. We're blended, right? So 2 of them are mine. 3. Like, dang, man, how'd you do 23, 22? It's like, yeah, I'm that guy. No, it was just, she's got one. It's like mine, then hers, then mine, then hers. So we alternate. And that's how we ended up with this giant house full of kids. But my son was just mad. And his mom passed away of cancer in 2009. So he was mad about the divorce. Then he was mad when his mom died, and he had to move in with us. And he always called his stepmother your wife and not stepmom. Thanksgiving came around this year, and he started sending me messages like, hey, what's going on for Thanksgiving? Can I come over? And of course, I'm thinking, the cynic that I am, I'm like, well, the boy just wants a free meal. And I went to my wife and I said, I just don't know what to do, because we've got some of the kids that are coming with new boyfriends. Yep. And we don't want our house to be a huge dysfunctional holiday mess like a bad movie, but frankly, that's exactly what we would be if you put everybody under the same roof at the same time. Some of you guys are already tracking with me on this. So we decided to tell them that the house was full for dinner, because I said, man, we haven't seen you in years, and you just invite yourself over, and we already kind of have a full house, and usually go somewhere else. So I went to my wife and I said, I don't know what to do, because I don't want to cause all this big mess. And she said, let's have them over for dessert. And my son came over, and as I was sitting with my granddaughter, who I hadn't seen in 6 months, and everybody else, we had 15, 20 people I was talking to, I looked over at my wife and my son were in the kitchen talking. And it was a great time. And when he left, he sent me a message that said, I didn't realize what a great lady she is. I also realized I've been mad forever for absolutely nothing. And his wife, who I barely know, was the one who said, how long, what's the expiration date on you being mad? Do you think your dead mother would want you to hate everybody for the rest of your life? And so the cool thing is that Thanksgiving came and went. The next day they came over and went Christmas tree shopping. The next day they came over, and my granddaughter and my wife made chocolate chip cookies together. I've seen my granddaughter every day since Thanksgiving, other than being on the road. So God is in the restoration. If you're in that place, man, I'm telling you, He ain't done yet. He is not done yet. There was I heard a message in church. I would love to take credit for this, but I can't. The pastor at our church was talking about the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Old Testament ends with Malachi, and the New Testament begins with Matthew. And there was actually 400 years in between the end of Malachi and the beginning of Matthew, 400 dead years of no God talking nothing. And he said that just because he wasn't talking didn't mean that he wasn't working. So I just want to be an encouragement to everybody in the room that if you are in that place, especially when it comes to our adult kids, I have lived the last 10 years without my son. And I lived 20 years without my dad. And in the last 5 years, God's given them both back. And so just continue to pray, continue to wait, because he is still in the restoration business, just as he was when he sent his son to die on a cross.
Amen.